I ran across this question on Reddit, how to get network days in Power Query. This question is less so about how to actually get a working formula for network days and more how to implement a query in Power Query. So, ran across this article here on Power BI community by this user who already kind of solved this question of how to get a network days function. So great article here, and we're going to use this. I'm going to show you how to actually get this working in Power Query. So let's go ahead and open up Excel. We are going to work with just two simple tables here. First is going to be a holiday table, and we're just going to say maybe one day for Thanksgiving, one day for Christmas. Really, you can put in as many days as you want here. I'm going to turn that into a table, and we're just going to name the table as holidays. And then we're going to get in another table here. We're going to say start and end for a few, maybe just one day here, one range. We're going to go from today until end of the year. And we're going to name this table as dates. And let's go ahead and import both of these to Power Query. I'm going to right click and hit G to get data from table range, and that's just going to pop it right into Power Query for us. We got our dates table in there, and we got our holidays table in there. Perfect. So two connections from Excel tables here, and we are going to go ahead and look at back at this article. We are going to grab that code that the user has created, copy that. I'm going to go back over to Power Query in Excel. Just going to open up that Power Query editor. And we're going to do a new query from a blank query. And we are just going to view the advanced editor there in the View tab. Just going to replace all that code with what the user posted there. And voila, looks like they got a working function here. That's great. We can use this function in queries throughout Power Query as well. So we're going to rename this as NetWorkdays. And then in our dates query here, we are going to add on a new column, and we're going to see if we can get that NetWorkdays working. First, I'm just going to edit these types to change back to dates. And then under holidays, I'm going to do the same thing. That looks like it auto set to date. We're going to see if we can get this dates function working there in this query, this network days function. So we're going to add a column. We're going to go custom column. We're going to call this workdays. And we are going to call that function that we created back here, that network days function. So we're going to go network days, open the parentheses, and they even have all these helpers here for what we're looking for. So we want the start date, the end date, and the holidays. So we're going to go ahead and put that start in there. We're going to put the end in there. And then for holidays, we're going to reference this holidays over here. I'm doing this the incorrect way first. This is kind of what tripped me up first, so I'll show you how we can resolve this. When we do it this way, we get an error because we need to pass this query here, or this function rather, a list rather than a table. So holidays is a table right now. We need to convert it to a list. So we're going to go over to this holidays table, and we are going to right click on it, and we're going to reference it. So your holiday table, it might have other columns. If it does, this is a good time to, in this referenced table, to delete those other columns and just have the list of holidays. And we're just going to rename this as maybe holiday list. And then we are going to come over to transform, and we're going to convert to list. And our icon over here changes to show that we now have a list in Power Query. We're going to jump back over to the dates, and here in the custom column, we could click that cog, or we could just change the reference here in the formula bar to be holiday list, which is now a list that it's actually referring to, and looks like it calculated something. So work days calculated as 75, and we will go ahead and close and load that. We're going to check it against Excel's NetWorkdays function. So in our dates query, we're just going to load this so that we can reference it. Just going to load it right there. And we'll check with Excel's NetWorkdays function, start date here, end date here, holidays here. And we got 75, perfect. If we added in another one, Excel will automatically update. We'll have to go over to Power Query and refresh that query to get that to update. But once you do, looks like it is working as well. So that's how you kind of implement a custom function code in Power Query.